And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the lower semi-finals or semi-finals here of the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 101. If you recall, I was looking at the previous match. I was looking at the PvP between Geralt and Christiana, but the lower quarterfinals have concluded, and we have our results coming in. Percival did indeed take down Nightmare 2-0. Didn't even go to the ace match, by the way, and now we have our first semis. Let's go. Spawning in the right-hand corner of torches, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner even, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Team Little Fairy. It is Percival. We go again. When it comes to the upper semis, Björn is waiting for the winner of Geralt and Christiana, so he's waiting for a Polish Protoss player of some kind, one or the other. So it's going to be lying in wait. Meanwhile, we have our own lower match instead. Let's go. Here we go. So far, we have our initial openers. We do have a hatch pool opener, delayed gases. Interesting. Delayed gases here out of Solar. Also, it's been a while since we featured the Zerg player in Sparkling Tuna Cup. Let's go. Especially this far in the tournament. It has been a long time. I'll have to double check when the last time we had a player like Eva or a player like Young Yakov or Wayne making a deep run in our tournament. So great to see Solar popping up as he does go for a gasless opener. Now, this is quite greedy. This is very greedy, but it is, I would say, safer to do on torches. Why is this going for a gaseous opener? Is because coming into natural, there's a ramp. There's a ramp coming into natural, which means you can ideally wall this off with Evo chambers and with a Roach Warren. You can wall off with the Evo chamber with Roach Warren. You can mine through these patches and expand on the right hand side. And because of this expansion pattern, Hellions cannot harass your third without initially mining through the patches here, which is why the Overlord is going to be covering this main mining path. So the Overlord will check here for any kind of mining, any kind of Hellion harass. Without that, Solar can freely drone. He can skip Ling speed, he can skip Zergling production, and defend with SimCity and Purely Queen. So this is a very greedy build here by Solar, but it is more viable on a map like this. Meanwhile, before I get ahead of myself, yes, it is Gamba time. I apologize. I was excited by the build and by the fact that we're casting a Zerg player, but yes, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat, as Percival is going third CC before Starport. Economic build here by Percival, and again, a lot of greed out of Solar as he's delaying his gases heavily. So heavily delaying his gases. Here we go. Random question, did Lion get a new keyboard? Sounds different. I've had the same keyboard since, I want to say 2016, I think. But maybe the microphone is positioned a little bit differently so you can hear it a little bit differently. But yeah, same keyboard. For a long time. To be fair, not 2016, maybe like pre-COVID, maybe like 2018-ish, 2018, yeah, something like that. Pre-COVID. It's my Axiom keyboard. As here comes our Roach Warren. I should have emphasized this as well, that again, it is standard to go into Roaches here. It is standard because, remember, you're heavily delaying gases, you're delaying Ling speed because you're skipping Ling speed. You're skipping Ling speed entirely, going into a Roach-based setup. Now, this typically is Roach into Roach Ravager, Infestor, into Ultra. That is typically what this is. You can still go into Ling speed in the mid-game and go Ling Roach Ravager. Otherwise, another option here is to go Ling Bane Roach Ravager in the mid-game instead. We'll see how greedy Solar plans on being, but based on how the meta has been shifting, this should be a lead up into Ultras. But we'll keep an eye on the upgrades on these Evo chambers. Technically, if Solar gets range, if he gets range instead of melee, then this could be the setup for Roach Ravager into Lurker instead of Ultra. Like, there are two different kind of tech paths you can head into. We go. For now, we do see Percival getting his third base on location. Stim is on the way, getting into his own cloak play, into his own cloak banshees. Mine was 2018, so yours must be older. There you go. There you go. Maybe 2017. Had mine since 2014. Oh, let's go. Let's go. As Hellies do break through that initial wall off, and drones are going to be going down. They're getting roasted. 9 drones going to be going down, and 10 up to 10 workers so far. So good. Not a bad pick off here, as only one Hellion goes down. Very nice Hellion run by here by Percival. And again, now it's going to be more difficult here for Soul to keep up now that the rocks have been knocked down. So he knocks down the rocks, rotates over towards left hand side. Oh, the drones are lining up. One more volley. Oh my god, and drones are going to be falling. In total, 18. Oh, god. 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 drone kills. 22 even. And we are going into range upgrades, not melee. So there is a sign here that we might actually be looking to try to tech up into Hydras. Into Hydra Lurker. Oh. As Percival does overextend, but again, he is just pulling a Solar apart. Getting caught out there. He will lose that tank. Yeah, this should not have happened. Percival here overextends with his ground army. Yeah, brutal loss there for Percival. Losing one of his tanks. Lycos bleeding out a lot of Marines. Hive is on the way. And the players are building up. Now, on the one hand, Percival, he is in a better economic position, but after losing that tank, his position here is that much weaker. It's very, very weak. He needs time to build up his forces. Meanwhile, here we go. We have a Baneley Nest on the way. There's a sign of Lingbane Roach Ravager. We do have +1 range in production, but there's a higher chance here that we're going to go into melee after range. Marines are being active. Yep, as we mentioned, there it is, melee. You can see here, melee is in production, not a +2 range, so we're switching into Lingbane Roach Ravager. Hive is almost done, and because of the melee upgrades, this should be leading towards Ultra Tech. But ideally, Solo would have a better economy coming into this. Like, he has been slowed down. So Solo, he is delayed in his tech, in his economy. So we'll see how quickly he tries to take up. There we go, straight into the Ultra Caravan. This is quite risky to try to pull off, just because of the shaky start, but he's going for it. And here he comes. Here comes Percival. He's looking to knock Solar down. Again, Solar, he does not have Baneling speed, he does not have Ling speed, he doesn't have +1 melee, he doesn't have +2 carapace either. Like, the upgrades are still lacking here for Solar. Now is the time for Percival. Now is his time. Solar going for the slow Ling run by. Lings are getting caught out. Percival, he's gonna go. Did he kill? That was a cancel. It's a cancel, not a kill. Upgrades are almost done, but the upgrades, they can be denied. Yeah, he's going for the Evo Chambers. He denies +1 carapace, sorry, +1 melee, and carapace as well. And denies both upgrades. Baneling speed is only halfway done. Ultra production has begun. But these are going to be Ultras without kindness plating and with only +1 carapace. And the upgrades are going to be lacking. Nice Blinding Cloud. Okay. Blinding Cloud on the tanks. Solar, he's holding. He holds, he defends. The Ultras will pop. And with the help of these Ultras, even though we're lacking upgrades, this might still be enough. Solar, he's holding, he's surviving. He's trying to, at least. Yeah, the Ultras are revealed. This is prompting additional Marauder production, so Marauders are on the way. Job Source is offside, the Ultras in position. Again, the Ultras, they are posing a problem here. Nice Firebomb. Firebombs are popping up. Ooh, we do see Percival getting into the mineral line. Solar, his economy has been lackluster, but the gold base is helping. At least it was until he loses all these drones. Oh no! We'll lose the mineral line. Brutal losses. Well, Another drop was left inattentive. Sole still surviving. He was up. I mean, he's still working on those upgrades, still heavily delayed. But kindness plating is now done, so the ultras are a little bit more tanky. On top of that, this area here at the center expansion is very wide open, so not easy for Percival to defend. Ghost production has begun, getting to 3-3. Again, upgrades are in favor of Percival, but Solar, he's maxed. SCP. SCP on the Viper, but the planetary is going to go down, and there are just so many ultras. Nice Fungal. Fungal does connect, but ultras are going down. Nice target firing, gets 1, 2, 3, 4 ultras fall. There's 3 ultras left. Down to 3. Oh, down to, oh, still 3. Getting on top of the Ghost. And Ghost goes down to 2 ultras. Oh, brutal swipe, down to 1. Yeah, 1 ultra left from Percival. He does hold, cleans up every single ultra, but at a cost. He lost the expansion, lost the planetary, lost the SCVs. And Soul's rallying. Soul is trying to rally in. Widowmines, they reset. Ooh, yeah, big moment here for Percival. No detection. The Widowmines, they survived. Widowmines did survive. Overseers are being rebuilt. Solar resaturating that gold. Still very intense. And again, it's still so difficult to maintain this low ground expansion. Solo is moving in for a second time. The mineral line. Solo forced back home. This is just giving Percival more time to lick his wounds, to fortify this location as Widowmines are resetting, more tanks are building up, more ghosts as well. This is still very hard to call. As time goes on, upgrades are kicking in for Solo, so he's catching up on those upgrades. Remember, Percival, he already has 3-3. Percival, he already has 3-3. Solar, he's catching up with +2. Solar, he is catching up. The creep is very lackluster. There's barely any creep here outside of the bases. We got the token Swarm Host on the way. Let's go. Percival investing into Neosil frames. Throwing down more CCs. As the game is slowing down. Mind Jump comes in. Again, very annoying, very unorthodox as well. Going for the Mind Jump, a Marauder counterattack as well. Expensive job, but he does get half a mineral line. Picks up, pulls away, another Mind Drop, killing more drones, killing more workers. Solar down to 60, down to 59 drones. The economy is not there. Still not there. Nice fungal, but there's no follow-up on that fungal, no follow-up on the ghost. Leading runway does distract, at the same time drops the still popping off. Solar still stuck on 57 drones. If it wasn't for the gold base, I mean, Solar, he's still hurting. Would be that much worse. Snipes the tank. Gold base is running out. Gold is running out. Solar expanding towards Percival. Meanwhile, Percival establishing a fresh mining base. Crucial that he gets it up and running. Once again, just distracting Solar. Just hopping back and forth. Ooh, as the army is heavily overstimmed. So overstimmed. Solar moving in with everything he has. And now it's +3 carapace. Still lacking +3 melee. Still lacking melee, but has quite a hefty army. Up to 6 ultras. Once again, drop does distract. Being run by here does likewise pull away some of the reinforcements. Catching up more SCVs. Not bad. More SCVs going down. Solar, he does commit in between the bases. Going straight for the natural. Ghosts are coming in. Nice snipes. Gets 2. Snipes are moving. Oh, the fungal! Ooh, the fungal does land. But the EMP as well. Yeah, the EMP does land. There's no more fungals. And without any more fungals, the ghosts will reign supreme. They take down every single ultra. Ay, ay, ay. Again, there was one good fungal, but then the EMP landed right after. The EMP did punish these infestors, so there were no chain fungals. Percival, he takes the fight, and what's scary is that if Solar loses this position, he'll lose the base. He'll lose the base, he'll lose the economy. This position is just so important here for Solar. Oh, as the final ultra goes down. Still reinforcing. Ultras are still on the way. Yo, the Vikings are helping. Dealing with the Locust wave. Yeah, with that Percival, he should overwhelm. He should overwhelm. GG gets called. Percival, he will take game number 1. He will take a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Oh. GG, well played, as Percival, he will take game number 1. He'll take a lead in the series, and we'll see if he can claim the 2-0. We'll see if he can bring Solar down, or Solar can bounce back. Now again, winding it back, a big part of how this game played out was the map, was torches. Again, short rush distance by ground, short rush distance by air. It meant that there was just non-stop aggression after a certain point. It also led into the opener of Solar, if you recall. Solar going into his own gases opener, going into roaches, then into Ultra Tech as well. It all kind of played into each other there, led into that more unique and more intense game state. We'll see how our players do adjust coming into Tokamak. Here, I would say it is more riskier to go for these gases openers. If you remember, Percival, how many workers did he kill? He killed, what, up to 20, maybe a little bit more? 20 drones went down to the Hellion Harass and to the Banshee Harass as well. I want to say it was over 20. So many drones went down in the early game, and it meant that Solar, remember, he was delayed coming into the mid to late game. Remember, his upgrades were delayed, his tech was delayed, his expansion was delayed, and because of that, Percival, he punished by sniping both Evo chambers. Remember, he denied +1 melee and +2 carapace. There was so much that was going Percival's way early on, which meant that Solar had to be more passive, or he was just lacking that kind of big strength, that big power spike that he typically gets into. So just a lot of early game damage dealt there by Percival, kind of snowballed out of control, and here we go. And that's why the upgrades were so lopsided and so in favor of Percival as well. So a lot of it came down to that early game, but we'll see how things will change coming into Tokamak. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Zerg player, we have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and bring us to game 3. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player, we have the Blue Terran, representing Team Little Fairy, leading the series 1-0. It is Percival. Here we go, and welcome one all to Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the larger maps in the map pool, much more defensive as well, and we often do see longer and later games on Tokamak as well. I would say these bases are closer together, easier to defend, easier to rotate, and we often do force out longer games. We'll see how Solar will adjust here. This time, as you can see, hatch gas pool. This is not the same opener as last game. Remember, last game, gasless. He delayed his gases for so long on torches, but as we tried to emphasize, as we re-emphasize, it was because of the map. Like, maps, they do kind of dictate the openers that are safer to go for, other openers that are riskier to go for. So here, there is no ramp coming into the natural. Here, it is nowhere near as safe to go for something gasless. So here we have a more standard opener instead, going hatch gas pool. There's a higher chance that Solar plays Link Bane instead of Roaches. I mean, both are viable and even though there's a higher chance of him playing Ling Bane here, it is still very meta nowadays to open up and to play Roach. It's just safer to go for. Unfortunately, like opening up with these slower styles is kind of the go-to. We'll see if Solar does embrace Ling Bane or if he goes into Roaches. I'll say both are available here, both options. We'll see where Solar heads. Ooh, as Percival, he will block the third, he will delay, he will deny, forcing out the Gas Geyser. Yeah, nice start here for Percival. Solar, he claims the delayed third. Here's his third base, a little bit delayed. Behind this, Percival going for a third CC before Starport, standard opener out of Percival. We don't really expect Percival to deviate. Percival going for, once again, third CC into Cloak Banshee, into Banshee Hellion would make the most sense. He may skip Cloak and he might even just go into Vanilla Banshee, could go into Liberators, could go Viking first. There are different variations. Catching up the chat. Korean Clem. Oh, that's Ryung. Ryung's the Korean Clem back. It's crazy. Fungal that counted the ghosts. As we were pointing out, only one fungal landed. The EMPs did ensure there were no additional fungals in that big engage. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. Meanwhile, we do have our Banshee play here from Percival. Again, so far, no Cloak. Oh, that spoke too soon. There we go. Cloak is on the way. So far, it is the same build, the same opener out of our Terran play. We don't really expect our Terran to deviate. Instead, we're keeping an eye on Solar to see if he does go for a double Evo Chamber, if he goes Lair first, if he goes Roachhorn first instead. In saying that, if we were playing Roaches, there would already be a Roachhorn by this point. So we'll see what tech he does go for, coming up to the 430 mark. And it is going to be Lair first. Okay. So let's open up Lair first. So in general here, a very safe play out of Solar. Lair first, this does mean that his upgrade is going to be more delayed instead of going double Evo Chamber, but it does mean that he can go into faster Baneling speed if need be. So we go into the faster nest, to faster Baneling speed. Oh, we do have a hidden Roachhorn. Okay. You have my attention. Roachhorn thrown down behind the natural mineral line, as so far the Banshee has yet to scout, has yet to confirm. So we have confirmation, we're not playing Banelings, we're going into Roaches again, but in a very different way. And we'll see how hard Solar commits. He may cut workers early and turn this into a 3-base all-in with the 4th base just for Larva. This might just be a safety precaution. The chambers are being thrown down. Getting into 1-1. Banshees, they confirm. We have a fast infestation bit. Okay, and he sees everything. He sees the pit, he sees the Evo Chambers, and he sees the Roachhorn as well. The pit is a sign. It tells us that we're getting into safety infestors, or we just rush into Fast Hive. Last game was Roach Ling Bane into Ultras, and we're leaning in that direction as well. Once again. Oh, was it to cancel? Does cancel the 4th. Nicely done. There we go. Melee upgrades, not range. This screams Ultra. This does scream Hive into Ultra. And this time, Solar, he hasn't taken critical economic damage. By this point last game, he had already lost over 20 workers. This time, the mineral line has been safe, has been secure. There it is. Hive is on the way. As you mentioned, we are looking to head into Ultra Tech. That is the big power spike for Solar, is Ultras. Because he will hit with Ultras before there's a critical mass amount of Ghosts. And remember, we saw something similar last game, but Solar, he was taking a heavy economic damage last game, which is why he had a bit of a lackluster transition into Ultras and why his upgrades were lopsided and everything was delayed, and it was just a bit of a messier game for Solar. Here he's looking much more secure, which is what we expected on Tokamak. As we mentioned, like, it is much more easier to defend on this map. In saying that though, Percival, he is pushing. Okay, she's a pull back. Percival moves in on the left-hand side. He is reinforcing. Ling's a catch a tank. Ooh, tank goes down. Tank does go down. Hellions a bust into the middle line. 13 drones gonna get roasted. And can he take down the expansion? Not quite. And Roaches, they arrive just in time. Lings are coming from behind. Lings are cleaned up. Nice transfuse. Solar holds. Solar, he holds. He defends his fourth base. The fourth does get up and running, but at a cost of a full mineral line. 14 drones still went down. So I would say a nice trade here for Percival. Remember, what did he lose? He lost 2 tanks. 2 tanks, 2 Banshees. He did trade well. Percival dropping on the right. Once again, trying to get into the middle line. He will lose one of the medevacs. Ay, ay, ay. Despite that, denying a lot of creep. Okay, nice trades here for the Terran. Denies creep, denies the expansion, but Solar, he is reaching his final form. The hive is complete, and the Ultra Cavern is now done. So you can see that Solar, he's been banking up minerals, banking up gas for what? For Ultras. They're expensive voids. So here come all the upgrades. We got 2 upgrades. We got Baling Speed, Ultra Speed, and soon Adrenal. Ultra production has begun. And again, that is his big power spike. That's when he's going to be at his strongest, the first time that Ultras hit the field. Just because they're hitting, again, pre-Ghost. Now, something that I mentioned previously in the lead up to this was that Solar, getting into the mid-game here, he's had a better showing than last game, just because the map is larger, the bases are more defendable. That is all true, but it's also applicable the other way around as well, where even if Solar gains map control, and I feel like he eventually will, he will gain map control with those Ultras. What can he do? What can he achieve with that map control? That's going to be what's important. Because it's going to be up to Percival to turtle up and defend back at home, as the Ultras are revealed. Nice snipe. Does cancel. Ultras are revealed. It's going to be on Percival to turtle. You can see here we have some nice Sim City. We have a tank line. We have Widow Mines. We need the same setup here on the right-hand side with a planetary. And once he can turtle up on 4 bases, then we can start working towards Ghosts and Liberators. Oh, late reaction. Yeah, very late reaction here. A lot of Marines go down. Ay, ay, ay. Gets one of the Ultras. That was a lot of fire falling. Solar moving out. Percival in a bit of an awkward position. Hongan all quite connecting. Well, the Bio is on the right-hand side. The tank is exposed. And Solar is going in. He's going in for the kill. We spoke about that big power spike here when he first hits with Ultras. This is it. Being followed, being chased, being led into the planetary. Okay. He's led in. Ultra goes down. We're running out of Ultras. Percival, can he hold on? It's going to be a tough hold though. Solar, he's just rallying across the map. Got the Spire on the way. That's going to be for Corruptors, for anti-air. Solar, he's remaxing with more Ultras. Nice on Bar. We can use that to Percival. Percival just trying to distract. Losing a medevac. Force the lifts. But again, you can see that Solar, he's max, so he can just keep trading. He can just keep trading, even inefficiently, and he should be able to overwhelm. Once again, getting on top of the tanks. The Sim City here is lacking. It's just lacking. Yeah, the Sim City is lacking. Percival's got 1,000 minerals, and he's not been spending it. So he could have spent that here on CCs, on walls, on bunkers, on depots, but the wall was not there. And GG gets called. GG gets called with that Solar. He overwhelms, he breaks through, and we are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Going to the ace match, going to game number 3. Again, Percival, you could see towards the end there, again, his macro was a little bit slipping towards the end. Again, a lot of things were getting chaotic. He had lost map control, as we expected once we saw the Ultra Tech. Again, solo, this is where he's at his strongest, on these larger maps. I'm thinking of maps like Tokamak, maybe even maps like Ley Lines as well. So I'm curious what the vetoes were, curious where we're going to be landing here in game number 3. Game 1, Torches favors Terran, or favors the aggressor, I should emphasize. Game 2, we do favor the initial defender, coming into Torches. Sorry, coming into Tokamak, I meant to say. Game 3, where we're dropping, ooh, we're going to be loading into Ley Lines. Okay, this is going to be an interesting map. I would say that Ley Lines is a little bit more down the middle when it comes to kind of like the maps and how extreme they can be. Like, when I think of aggressive maps, I think of Pylon, I think of Ultra Love, I think of Torches, for example. When I think of the more macro maps, I think of Maganatha, I think of Tokamak. Ley Lines, I would put a little bit more in the middle here. Again, you can try to force out a longer game here. You can be aggressive with all-ins. Let's see what we go for. Let us see. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have our South Korean Zerg player. We have our red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran from South Korea. It is Percival. Go. Players are going to be opening up. And again, coming into Ley Lines, there's a lower chance that Solar is going to go for a gasless opener, so we expect Hatch Gas pull out of the Zerg player once again. Meanwhile, Percival, we expect more of the same. We expect him to go for a third TC into Starport, into Hellion Banshee. It comes down to the skill check, it comes down to how much damage he can achieve in that early to mid game. Meanwhile, the build that we saw to Solar is kind of what we're expecting here as well. Opening up Roach into, like, I should say, Lair first, into Roaches, into Lingbane, Roach Ravager, into Ultra Tech. It has been very meta over the past couple of months. I'm sure you've seen it plenty of times from players like Solar, like Shin, like Serral, Raynor as well. Raynor, he's had his own take on it. If you recall, we were quite critical. Raynor, instead of going Roach, he would just go straight Ling Ultra without Banelings, without Roaches as well. He'd just be even greedier, and he'd have some mixed success. Very mixed success with that. But again, we'll see if Percival can slow Solar down. We're going to be poking in, no major damage. Solar, he does claim his third base on location without being disturbed. No delay. No delay on the third TC before Starport. Again, everything's looking as it should be. Nothing crazy. Oh. Does take down the tumor, not bad. Here we go. What's happening in the chat? Oh no. Gumiho the Marine Justin. No, Gumiho, he's the Mech King back. Aye aye aye. We take out the Marine entirely. Oh no. Este Gumiho. Beautiful. As from here, we do have, once again, the standard follow. We're going into Cloak, just like the previous games. Soon the Hellions will come online, and we'll be able to Solar to keep up with the Hellion and with the Banshee movements. We've seen Solar have mixed results when it comes to defending in the early game. We'll see if we can keep up. Of course, last game we went for a 4:30 lair timing, then into the Roach Warren. That's kind of what we're expecting here. If he deviates, we'll point it out. Oh, never mind. Double Eva Chamber. Okay, let's go. We're going for a much more greedier build here from the side of Solar. This is double Eva Chamber before Lair. So this is going to be faster 1-1 upgrades. This means later Baneling speed, later Lair timing as well. This is greedier here out of Solar. Okay. Going for a greedier start. This typically leads into Ling Bane, by the way, which means there's a lower chance we're going to get into Roaches. I'm ready for some Ling Bane. Let's go. We have Carapace and Melee on the way. First, he rotates, he's yet to really confirm what's going on. His upgrades have begun. Banshee towards the natural, Hellions they rotate towards the third. Lair begins here at 520. And the Banshee does confirm. Yeah, it does confirm both Evo Chambers. That screams Ling Bane. And there it is. There's that Bailey Nest. No Roaches, not this time. Which means this can be pure Ling Bane into Ultra. This could be Ling Bane into Hydra Lurker tech. I appreciate the Solar is dipping his toes into something very different this time for the Ace match. Very different. I'll say very different, something more classic, which I appreciate. As Hellions, they attempt to go for the dive. Plenty of links to defend. Yeah, we get some decent movement here, but the Hellions get surrounded. Hellions are surrounded. They all go down. That was not quite worth it. Banshees are getting some drone kills, but here comes a counterattack. And back at home, okay, there are units to defend. Percival, he should be okay. Losing a Banshee, losing both. Oh, that should not have happened. Both Banshees go down. Now, what's scary about what just happened here is that now Percival, he has no presence on the map. That will soon change with the Medivacs, but Percival, he just lost all his Hellions, and he lost all the Banshees as well, which means we can be greedy. Solar, he can drone up to 80. Straight up, he can just drone up to 80. Fourth base is already done. Infestation bit's on the way. That's going to be for the Hive tech. We're going to be droning from here. And this could, especially if he feels like he can get away with it, he can just go straight to Ling Bane into Ultra. He can just skip Hydras, skip the Spire. Go for those Ultras instead. And again, that was a shaky start from Percival. He's now moving out. Yeah, there it is. Hive is on the way. Oh boy. And we'll see if Percival can break Solar before Ultra Tech. Marines are stimming in. There's more reinforcements on the way. As Percival does push, we do see Solar coming in for the counterattack. Remember, this is not an 8 rank, so we're getting a force TC, so Percival is playing standard, he's playing macro. Solar coming in from behind. And Bailey's rolling forward. They will crash in, and Solar defends. Solar shuts us down. The Hive is almost complete. Oh, that is not a setup for Ultras. With that Hydrogen, there's a higher chance here. This is going to be, instead of Ling Bane into Ultra, Ling Bane into Lurker. Okay, let's go. I'm ready for the Lankers back. Yeah, Adrenal's on the way. Viper production as well. We're waiting for the Hydrogen. Unfortunately, this isn't really lined up. Ideally, if you're going to Lurkers, you have the Hydrogen finishing up just as the Hive finishes. So, bam, you go, sorry, you have the Lurker then finishing up just as the Hive finishes. So you can go into those Lurker upgrades. Assuming that's the direction that we're heading in. Ooh. As almost a full medevac goes down. And the drop is dealt with. And we're still waiting for Solar's tech of choice. Good Hydra upgrades. So far going into Link main Hydra. Percival does zone away. Ducklings getting on top of the tank. Not bad. Getting on top of the tank, keeping up with all the setup here, with all the harassment. Oof. So far, Solar just shutting down all the aggression, making sure he's secure. He's not teching, as he just wants to make sure he survives. Dealing with all the pushes, and there it is. Now we have the Lurker Den. And again, this intentionally was delayed, so it's a delayed Lurker Den, but that is just because Solar's been focusing on shutting down these pushes. You can argue this could have been earlier, but Solar, he was playing it safe. Didn't want to get caught teching. Oh god. Brutal mind shot. Percival, he is getting some decent trades. And again, thankfully for Percival, it's going to take a little bit longer for the Lurkers to come online. It's going to take longer. Ghost already in the mix. Better trades here for Percival. Shaves off some Zerglings. Denies the expansion. Can't quite push into the bases. But both armies are maxing out. He connects. Dials in with the EMP. Solar, he's shocking around looking for a dive. Lurker upgrades, they've only just begun. So far, Solar, he is holding on. Nice mine shots. Mine shots on the Zerglings. Solar taking a very rough fight off of Creep. Yeah, very off. A lot of Banelings go down. That was not worth it. Solar bleeding out Banelings, bleeding out Hydras as well. These are expensive losses. Yeah, very rough fight at the same time, though. Massive counterattack going for the upgrades. +3 armor is denied, potentially +3 attack as well. Okay. Denying the upgrades. Takes down the expansion, denies both upgrades. Yeah, first we stuck on 2-2 and the Lings, they get into the middle right. 18 SCVs going down. This one Ling run by, he gets 18 workers, he gets both upgrades as well. He distracts Percival, an insane run by. An insane run by here at the natural base. And now Solar, he can comfortably embrace his Lurkers. There we go. The first wave of Lurkers are on the way. Again, they're hitting a little later here, but I mean, he got there. He got there in the end. Got to his Lunkers. Percival, the economy is crippled. He's still trying to recover. And Solar, he has momentum. Has momentum. Going for the planetary. And he's going to knock it down. Planetary pushing further in. Getting on top of the tanks at least. Does bring them down. Likewise, Lurkers that defend back at home. And once again, this is still very much so worth it for Solar. Sure, Solar, he bled out some Hydras, bled out some Ling Bane. But he kills a base. He kills a base. He's looking to starve Percival out. Percival, he's running out of steam, running out of money. Down to 4 bases. Down to 60 SCVs. The attempted 5th base not yet up and running. And Percival, he's hurting. He's hurting. He's falling further behind. And again, he wasn't able to punish Solar early enough. He wasn't able to break him before the Lurker attack. Likewise, I mean, honestly, Percival, I would say that he was looking pretty good up until the Ling Run-By, right? That Ling Run-By was brutal. Like, 3-3 should be done by now, but it has to restart from scratch. Had to rebuild the E-base, had to restart 3-3. Likewise, he never recovered here economically either, never was able to resaturate. That was a brutal run by. And now Solar's remaxed. Yeah, his remax is moving in. So it's the way that goes, takes down the tank line. Chasing the ghost further in. Takes down another. Even going for the CC. Jeez. I mean, some of the mine shots have been solid. That's all it's been. It's all it's been. Lurkers that are defending back at home. They've yet to actually move out across the map. So you have lurkers at all the fringe bases. Again, just much safer play here from Solar. But soon we can just move in. Oh, that's a kill. That's a kill, not a cancel. There we go. Nidus into the main base. Bouncing on the main army. GG gets called again. Percival, he was on his last legs for quite some time there. GG. And Solar, he will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played again. It was an intense back and forth here. We saw that Solar, he did opt to play a little bit safer coming into ley lines, delaying his tech, settling on Lingbane Hydra a little bit longer. Percival, he was holding his own. I was very impressed with his play as well, holding his own against Solar, but in the end, he was torn apart. He was a little bit inattentive. The run bys and counterattacks became a little bit too much, and he was torn apart. GG. GG, well played. Wasn't quite able to recover, and with that, Solar does make it through into those finals. And who is waiting for him in those finals? We're about to find out. We're about to find out as we're heading over to the Americas server here. Here we go. We have confirmation. Geralt took down Cristiano 2-1 to advance on to those semis. And now we have our second semifinals ready here. It's going to be Bjorn versus Geralt in a best of 3. Let's go. Let's go. GG, well played. Oh. Just making sure everything gets paid out. All the predictions. And here we go. We have our semis. We have Bjorn and Geralt facing off. Yeah, they're facing off here in our semis. Cristiano, he's out. Percival is out. And we have seen Bjorn and Geralt go back and forth. As we've pointed out before, Geralt, he is at his strongest in the late game. Like, he has some insane late game PvT. We've seen him take down Kior, we've seen him take down Bjorn. If he can get there, though, that's the thing. And you could argue that Geralt has the best chance of getting to the late game against Bjorn. True, just because, again, Bjorn, he's a little bit more macro-oriented. But Bjorn still has some really strong timings, right? He still has some really strong timing attacks. You know, the pre-stim pushes. We do have the pre-stim pushes, the earlier tank move-outs as well. The drop play, that's where Bjorn can excel. That's where he can try to tear Geralt apart. Let's go. Here we go. Also, as a reminder, we do have the raffle as well. We do have our raffle, which we're going to be conducting before the finals. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get to that rifa. Alright, setting that up. Otherwise, Vita's underway. Vitas are underway, and we're going to be going on a very short break. When we come back, we'll have our next semis. We'll have Geralt and Bjorn ready for you. See you soon. See you soon after the break.